And 5, 4. What up, y'all? It's your boy Kev on Stage. Welcome to another Here's the Thing. I'm Kev on Stage. She's
that chick Angel.
The first bonus episode of 2021. Banging on you all 2021, giving you the exclusive Patreon live Kev on Stage Studios app.
Get on that MF, please. We need to pay the rent.
Since we last recorded, white folks done lost their everlasting mind.
I mean, completely. They just.
We finish up with Cisco, Angel.
I mean, Kevin, you came out in 2021 like this is gonna be a good year for us. You had Cisco over here. You had Lale, Odom, and Gigi over on Aska. Okay, you get just pulling out all the stops. You know what I'm saying?
And at the same time we were setting all that up, white people said, "Oh, y'all want to certify the election? We're gonna count the votes. How about if we literally descend upon our nation's capital, AL, and breach the Capitol, OL, building, and y'all ain't gonna certify nothing?" Okay. Woo. Now, Angel, as a black woman, Josh is a brown man.
That's
Do you think the Capitol Police were prepared for this? Do you think that tear gas and horses and rubber bullets and arrests were made in mass? Oh, no. Do you think that white people used their strongest weapon, their skin? Okay, here's what white people, if you're watching, because here's what I want y'all to know. Black and brown folks, we is not surprised, okay? It didn't make us no surprise, okay? Now, y'all got to get y'all boys and girls, and I don't want to hear nothing. Here's what I don't want, white people. I'm talking to y'all, and y'all going to talk to each other. I'm going to look directly to the camera. I want y'all to stop lying to yourselves.
Boom.
Okay? Now, we know what it is. Now, we said Black Lives Matter. What y'all say? Blue Lives Matter. That's what y'all said. Y'all said protect back the blue. Law and order. Y'all said it was about Blue Lives Matter. And then what y'all did? Y'all ran right through them police. Okay, y'all busted the windows out the wall. Y'all climbed through windows. Y'all got a Capitol officer killed. And all I want to say is let's not stand on ceremony, Mr. Wayne. We know y'all be lying. Okay? Y'all said it was about decency and order, comply, peacefully protest. When black people was out there protesting, police brutality, y'all said we got to peacefully protest. That's all we want. And then y'all committed an act of domestic terrorism and breached our own Capitol building and showed your entire monkey tail. All on CNN admitting to felonies. Y'all had Elizabeth from Knoxville, Tennessee, admitting to breaking into the Capitol and being surprised that they got her. And then when they got in, Angel, you know what they did, Angel?
They were taking
photos everywhere. Angel, they doo-doo on the ground and threw doo-doo everywhere. Did y'all see this article?
Bro, that is the most Bro, they smeared the doo-doo on the walls.
Smeared doo-doo on the wall, Angel. Not of the local Target in Minnesota. They stormed the nation's capital, busted through. There's videos of police officers letting them in the gates, waving them in, helping white women down the steps.
Oh, yes. They said, don't trip.
Taking selfies with the protesters, and they got in there. They put their feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
Bro, they snitched on
They
themselves.
looted the podium. They took pictures.
Yeah.
What y'all got to say now? What y'all got to say?
You know, it was a family reunion is what it was. It wasn't a planned protest. It was a planned barbecue. Okay, and they roasted everything up in there that they could. Okay, I'm telling you, I was not surprised that nothing happened. As far as in, the police were welcoming them in. They were like, "Hey, how you doing, Barb? If you go to the left, you can go ahead and go in that person's office and just throw their stuff around. Actually, if you go to the right, you can bang out the windows over here." There was no real like. I know they did use some forms of like trying to suppress the crowd, but it was very minuscule. But that's how they've always treated their cousins and their sisters and their moms, because that's who they were dealing with. They were dealing with people they cared about and agreed with. A lot of them. It's unfortunate that 4 people died because it's now up to 5,
including the Capitol police officer as a result of his injuries.
Up to 5. I can tell you this right now. In what I know of Black Lives Matters protests, the only one that I can think of where there was a fatal killing of an officer was when one singular person got up on a building and purposefully shot into the peaceful protests. There was no pandemonium in any of these Black Lives protests where an officer's life was at stake or taken. So the fact of the matter that this is a shock to anyone, that I guess that they were above reproach, that white people would never, and that what they would do is like so much more peaceful than what Black people had already been doing. And when Black Lives Matter had a protest in front of there, you would have thought that it was Nazi Germany coming to surge upon the Capitol with the amount of armed police they had on the steps. So, miss me with the, I can't believe it's such a dark day. It's been dark in America. It has been dark. I don't know how else to like describe or get people to understand that this is not, I guess because they're not used to watching white people lose something. They don't see how they throw a tantrum like they are a 3-year-old that is not on whatever prescribed medication they're supposed to be on. That's when you start seeing people poop and handle their own feces in smeared places, is when you're not well in your mind and you need to be on medication.
Man,
go ahead, Joshy.
Oh man, I was just gonna say, honestly, unfortunately, I wasn't even surprised that it was happening. I was more like, oh snap, this is a public thing, and for the first time, every country around can see the difference in how this stuff is being handled protest wise. So, and just like Angel said, like, I mean, they had the National Guard on deck for BLM protests last year. And all of a sudden they're just not even worried about something like this happening. Like that's what I didn't get. And I unfortunately stumbled on the video of the veteran getting shot. I saw that door was barricaded. She was breaking the glass to get in. Mind you.
Yeah.
It's a heavy thing, but still, like, there was one guard there. I would have been fearful. There was no professional, like that type of tactical security behind that door. There was just a mob of angry people about to break in through whatever he could try to do to barricade it. Even when there was like a little SWAT team that came in, they were just kind of monitoring inside. Like they weren't on the side where everybody was at. But it's really like the fact that it happened to me isn't like a huge shock element, but it was certainly like a dark day for the entire country, because this was the first time I was like, yo, this is embarrassing.
Oh,
listen, I've been saying so many things are embarrassing. There was a Black girl on Twitter who was like, Black people, let's link up in DC. For what? That ain't got nothing to do with us. For what? People in DC, listen, I'm gonna need y'all to answer for this, because this is the president of the United States tweeting a couple weeks ago, we'll see you on January 6th in DC. Okay. It's him purposely undermining the election. And what happens is you have white people who feel entitled. Yeah. So much of white supremacy is the entitlement. This is our country. This is our vote. You don't belong here. I seen, and let me back up. One thing we got to stop doing is saying these are poor white people only. These aren't just poor white people. Yes, there's some poor whites. There's also a lot of middle-class whites and rich whites. These are lawyers and HR managers. There's a one black woman who flew her private plane to DC. It's not all slack-jawed yokels who are doing this. These are people of means. And what happens is white people feel that their whiteness is being threatened. And they
patriotism.
Patriotism, nationalism, you're all just avoiding the truth, which is this is white supremacy. These white people were in there like, we need to inspect the votes. Okay, let me just walk us through this. Okay,
right.
You are going to go to the nation's capital, where the votes were handled in congressional district and polling locations all over the United States. They want to inspect the machine. What are y'all even talking about? What are you even going to do? The machines are not at the Capitol building. What was you going to go in there and inspect?
Kevin, we could have every single person who was eligible to vote, who voted, to actually come to a microphone, say who they voted for, and it be counted out loud nationally. And they would still be like, nope, because that nigger is the same as that nigger, so that should have only been one vote. They will come up with something to be like, this is not the truth. This can't be real. And like what you said, it's not about nationalism. It's not about patriotism. It is pure as day white supremacy. And people have a hard time grappling with that. Because here's the thing. I'm cool with you being like, let's recount the vote. Like, for instance, we sat through a 4-year span of time where every single thing was done to try to make Trump's winning the election illegitimate. It went to the Supreme Court. There were investigations, all of that. I'm okay with all of that. So it's like, okay, if you all want to do that, keep going through the legal route. Biden's still going to get in office. Y'all can keep doing all the Supreme Court things. That's the thing that really confused me. I was like, it is not 1806. We have email. You email your senator. You tell the people in power and say, I would like for there to be a recount. I'm making a petition. But instead, these barbarians decided to go back to a time when actual like communicating with people was only done face to face or via letter.
Right.
You can make phone. You can pick up the phone and say, I am in disgust. Recount. But they instead said, I'm just going to come up in here and I'm going to act a fool. I'm going to break down things. The things that I say are more important than human life. The symbols.
Listen.
The symbols like the American flag. The symbols like these old white founding founders.
Founding farmers.
There were farmers too.
They were farmers because they took the natives' land and made it their own.
All of it. But all these things that they say are more important than a black life, they're able to destroy when they're mad. Like, it's so much hypocrisy, it's ridiculous. It's
like we, the black and brown men and women of America, and I've said this before and I'll reiterate it here, we know what America is for real. A lot of times white people don't get to really see this country and themselves the way we do. Our survival is dependent on our understanding whiteness. And the biggest protection those white people have is their skin. They know the cops cannot treat them like they treat us. They can't just come in here, rubber bullets. It would have been at best thousands of arrests, but more than likely a doggone massacre if that was a Black Lives Matter protest that was trying to storm the Capitol. The way the media handled the domestic terrorists who blew up nearly a city block in Nashville around Christmas, and it didn't hardly scrape into the news, is a perfect example of when white people do something, other white people seek to understand it because they see themselves or their friends in it. When black and brown people do something, you can easily other us.
Oh, yeah.
Whether that's black and brown, black people or Mexican people or brown people from the Middle East, that's them. Now that white people are doing it, now it's harder to separate themselves because they're not all poor. They're not all from the South. They're from all over the country. And the same thing they've been saying since the Black Lives Matter movement began just went up in smoke. But we knew it wasn't about police brutality or Blue Lives Mattering. We knew it was just anti-Black Lives Matter. Now, here's where they cracked me up, where they thought we were stupid. These people said it was Antifa.
Oh my God.
Now y'all just think now you think we are just complete idiots. It was Antifa people who mixed up with the MAGA people and said, we finna come up in here and bust into the Capitol.
Like, it's anything to be like, because like, okay, so what I want to understand then is, so everybody, because how are they mixed in when everybody was there? Everybody,
Angel.
Everybody was on steps. Everybody was climbing the wall. Everybody. So how was no MAGA people there? Because it looked to me like everybody was acting a goddamn.
Angel, this is the first time in the history of America that the Confederate flag was in the Capitol building. That didn't even happen during the Civil War.
Bro,
stop.
Because that is it is a treacherous, it is the flag that symbolizes traitors. So why would it be in the Capitol building? Why is it even allowed in this country? Who does that? Who if another country overthrows a country, because that is what happened. We were a separate country at one point in time. If another country overthrows a country, they do not then allow any patriotism towards the fallen.
Yeah.
The fact that we even allowed that allows you to know that there is still such deep-seated racism in this country. And when people try to pretend as though that it's not a thing, that it's like only a few. No, this country allows for these symbols to still be held high, to still be flown, to still be seen as a piece of honor.
Yes.
Like, you can't. It wouldn't happen nowhere else. They
coddled their white feelings, and what it boils down to is when white people don't get their way, they feel like the system. And the funniest thing is, it's another white president who's installed. It's not like a black president again. It's another white president. But when they don't get it, they was yelling, "We pay your salaries like you're supposed to protect us." We don't feel that way. That's why we couldn't do that. We know good and well. I'd be good and dead.
They would have unloaded every single piece of ammo and then begin throwing furniture at us and lighting that on fire as they threw it. If we even decided to step onto the steps of the Capitol, much less be able to bang multiple times to break a window to get in. Like, it's just, again, it was a family reunion. It was a good old powwow, because there's just no way in hell that those police weren't a part of this whole thing.
Oh, no. Listen, I was reading some message boards online about how I've seen a couple funny things. Like, you wonder why the police don't be at the protest, and why you don't. It's the same reason Batman and Bruce Wayne, you can't see them together. Like, if you think that the Proud Boys don't be in uniform, there's countless examples of racist cops being caught on radio saying, "Let's kill these niggas. And if it ever comes down to it, I'm going to defend my country," which means defend my whiteness and my white privilege. And I work at the Capitol building. Y'all, you think they didn't set this up on those racist sites where Doja Cat was in there showing feet? You think they didn't say, "Hey, man, I'm going to be right over here at this gate. I'm going to let y'all in. We ain't going to do nothing to y'all." And even if they weren't in on it, you know what happens if you shoot a white person. You're going to have to answer a lot more questions than if you shoot a black person. Politicians will ask questions. Investigations are going to be open. And let me just switch subjects and talk about this within the same subject. The FBI going to go on Twitter and be like, "If y'all could help us identifying people." They were saying their names on
they were shouting them out. "This is my son. I'm so proud of him."
Lizzie from Knoxville. You can find her. She likes the piano.
She got her piano scarf ready for the revolution. Also, I saw a video that showed her having an onion in that towel, making herself cry.
She's like, It's a revolution. We're storming the Capitol, and I am eating onions as well. You know,
that is not Revolutionary War clothing. I don't understand when she got dressed and said, "Hold on, okay, we gotta we got an insurrection later today. We got to storm the Capitol. Also, it is 25 degrees. I gotta make sure my neck is. Where's my favorite? You packed a piano scarf in your Revolutionary War kit.
Yes,
she was not ready.
She had on a cape as well. Yes, she also
she was genuinely surprised. They amazed me, and boy, that video where they put the Animaniacs to her. I said, y'all are.
That was the best.
The very end when she said, I was on the treadmill right here, Angel. I let out an out loud guffaw. I laughed so hard I almost fell off the treadmill. And also, Black people, we gonna get these jokes off.
You hear me?
They were trying to usurp the country, and we was like, but your voice is funny.
But your voice is funny. I said she was auditioning for a musical, Les Mis or Alexander Hamilton.
She had that little run.
She was Alexander Hamilton. She was ready. She thought it was about to be this orchestra, and then they transcended or descended upon the Capitol. You will stop the vote as if these people can't go somewhere else and vote, like or as if they can't come back unless they were going to set.
We already voted, Angel.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
It's been done.
Trump has been lost in every state he contested 2 and 3 times over. It's been to the Supreme Court, which swings conservative now after they appointed Amy Coney Barrett's Panera Bread. So even his people were like, nah. It took white people dying and then Trump's first video, he was like, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I love y'all. Y'all got to go home. They stole the election. Then Twitter and them took all them videos down. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all banned him. Twitter for 12 hours. Everybody else indefinitely.
Yeah.
And then he came back with the solemn, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got to understand, y'all tripping. We about law and order. Oh, now that white people die. Because wasn't no black people that killed. Listen, that was white on white crime.
Yeah.
And now y'all got a problem on your hands. And if you think these people are just going to sit down and simmer down and be happy now, no, it's too late. You done stoke. And here's the thing about Trump, and then we can move on from this because it'd be frustrating me. Mm-hmm. Trump doesn't incite or generate these feelings in people. All he does is give them permission to live their full selves out loud. That's all he does. He gives them the freedom to say what they said at their mechanic shops and in their tailgates and at their cookouts in their backyards. He allows them to freely feel like white people, we deserve whatever we want. White people in America's history has been about taking what they want by force, by any means necessary. It's passed down from generation to generation. They discovered a country that was already inhabited, took it by force, took it by pestilence and violence and smallpox covered blankets or murder. They took black people from Africa and used our body to build this country, took our rights, took our family, took our excellence, exploited our culture. The entire history of white supremacy is about taking what you want. It's not about, like, even the reason that these elections are even close at all is largely because of gerrymandering and voter suppression. It's not because black people don't vote. It's because white people take the rights away at every turn.
However,
so this is as in line with American culture as anything else.
You are so right. And the last little piece that I'll add is that while I'm glad that Twitter and Facebook took down, I can hear the echo. Sorry.
I took my mic out.
Let me.
I'm in my computer. I'm back to normal.
Okay. So while I am glad, I don't know how to fix it. While I am glad that
I think it might be the Elgato, Angel. Just try going through your computer. I don't know why it's feeding back.
Yeah.
Do you have your echo cancellation off, Kev?
I had mine on.
I have mine on too.
Mine's
That's
a
okay.
headphone, so I wouldn't get any feedback.
Let me just put it
No,
on.
well, had the checkbox
Checked or not checked?
checked.
Yeah, mine is checked.
Mine was
Okay.
checked too. But I don't have it on my Elgato and we're still having an echo. Let me double check.
I don't hear no Elgato.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't have it on the Elgato anymore and there's still an echo. Dang. Hold on.
Yeah, try some headphones.
I think
Angel.
because the Elgato mic, when you set it on your laptop, the speaker's right there, and it comes.
Yeah, but
right from there into there.
my what you call it, laptop and my Elgato aren't with
My volume is not on 100, so hush.
They're down.
Whoever just said that.
I didn't say it.
No, I can't put the comments up.
No, that's my burner account though. I'm just kidding.
Okay, this don't have no little ear things. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna go back to my Elgato.
I bust the windows out your wall.
Okay. All right, the echo's gone. Is the echo gone?
I never hear the echo.
Okay, we good. So what I was going to say, while I am glad that Twitter and Facebook took down the president's tweets and all the stuff that he put out there that incited this, I hope, based off of that documentary we watched, what was that documentary on social media, Social Dilemma?
Yeah.
I hope this makes the social media platforms more responsible when it comes to the way they allow information to be disseminated, because that, based off of that documentary, I see now how a whole movement of crazy white folk losing their mind can pick up, just being bombarded with things that just justify their crazy feelings even more, to make them think, yep, going to take over the Capitol is going to work. Like, how do you even think that is going to work in 2021? Unless you are being fed information to make you think this is possible. This is absolutely possible. So hopefully, I'm hoping that this makes social media way more accountable and more responsible with the information that they allow people to get a hold of. Because this is ridiculous.
And the thing is, this is the Black people, when we protest peacefully, and it really be a peaceful protest, like walking around the streets, it's in response to police brutality. Usually it's in response to a person, if not some people, dying and no one being held accountable. This protest, this act of terrorism, was in response to an election that
they created. That they created in the first place. The Electoral College is mad old.
They were like, but if we rigged it for us to win, how did we lose?
That's what it boils down to, Angel. How we lose the rigged game. We rigged it and lost.
This was our thing 4 years ago.
So if we win by the rig, we're fine. If we lose by the rig, then we're arming ourselves and we're storming the Capitol.
Because they thought that people would be
pitchforks.
They thought that people would be too lazy to figure out the system and to adjust to it. So they'll just try to move the line again. They'll just be like, well, okay, well, they figured it. So let's just move it to this way. They'll have no way of being able to win again. But the fact of the matter is that I know we as Black people can't talk about nobody else. We the type that's going to make a way out of no way. It don't matter what you put. Come on. It don't matter what you put in front of us. If you put in front of us a bunch of slop, we going to come up with soul food. If you put in front of us, just only boxes, we going to come up with rhythms and dancing and stuff like that. So the same thing, when you put us in a corner and say that our vote is only eighth of anybody else's vote, we're going to figure out a way to make all of that lean in our direction. So, they can keep on trying to rig it, or they can just, realize that it's better if they just let us be. It's better if they let us fly. It's better for everybody. It ain't just better for us. What?
It actually helps now that these people feel disenfranchised, they're going to lose faith in the system and not want to vote. And it's going to make everything even harder because now they're going to be like, well, doggone, we voted and rigged the election and lost. What's the point of voting? We're going to be like, what is the point? Y'all don't want to vote, huh? That's crazy. And I want to say one more thing. Download the Kev on Stage Studios app.
Hey. I am so excited about this app. When I tell you, we be over here watching the new content drop as if, especially the social media, the comedians challenge.
Oh, it's great.
I be watching it like I wasn't there when we filmed it.
Let me tell you what. To hear more is a star.
Isn't he though?
I was just talking on Zoom with the homies with him yesterday, and I was like, for the most part, the first couple episodes at least, he has all the golden moment. I have watched the Jonathan McReynolds challenge, like you said, like I'm not in it. To hear Good Love, I watched that a billion times.
It's the best.
Him, and when it was happening in real time, when he sang his original song, I didn't really hear what he was saying because Jonathan was singing and strumming. I was nervous. He was like, you know what I'm saying? I wrote these things. It just came to me. And then when he started the dumb song, I was like, why did you even say that part at the beginning? Because you set up here, and it's three things that funny. That Jonathan McReynolds immediately realizing Tahir is a fraud, but Tony not realizing till the third song where Tony was just like,
he said,
he didn't write that.
So he had no idea why you were laughing.
He just laughing because we was laughing.
But the thing is, I don't understand how he didn't know when I was singing with Tahir.
Didn't click, Angel. And now we got Jackie coming out on Sunday, and that's an amazing episode. So if you don't have it, you should get it. Okay, now to the soul discussion.
Here's another banger for you. Here's another one. Yeah.